Joining us today is Zibby Owens. She is a podcaster, author, CEO, publisher, mother of four. The list goes on and on. But today we're going to talk about the most recent book that she has published, On Being Jewish Now. Zibby, for me personally, this is my favorite book that you've published. I am so honored to be a part of it, and I am just thrilled that you got this published, especially now when we need it most. So thank you.
Thank you for contributing and saying yes right away and writing a fabulous essay, all of it.
Oh my God, I'm honored. I mean, you have written several books, you've published several, you've done so much, but why On Being Jewish Now? What made you think I need to do this, and you did it with such urgency?
I feel like that is what we are dealing with now, a very urgent situation where we all have to speak up. And I feel like since October 7th, I've been trying to speak up whatever platforms I can, from social media to newsletters, whatever. And I finally realized no one's going to listen to just my voice. We all need to collectively speak up and lift, rising tide lifts all ships. I think that the more other people hear that we're all going through the same things. Jewish people need to hear that they're not alone. Non-Jewish people need to hear what our experience is like so they can become allies and stand up for the fact that this is not fair or right, which they know deep down, I believe, but feel paralyzed to act. I wanted a time capsule. I wanted a way for everybody to be able to just say, look, this is what it feels like to be Jewish right now.
I mean, you chose 75, authors and advocates, all very different experiences, a diverse voice of people. How did you choose who you were going to have contribute to your book?
Well, the Jewish people are very diverse people, and I think other people might not know that, and that's one of the things that I hope that readers take away from the book, is there is not just one type of Jewish person. We are a very diverse group with different political leanings and different ethnicities and all the rest. So I think that's important. I reached out along with other founding authors of the Artists Against Antisemitism nonprofit. I joined that group to help start that up after October 7th. I had a group chat with these 30 plus women, and I started asking authors who had been on my podcast, and they asked some of their friends too. And we went out to about 200 people, and 75 said yes. And the people like you who said yes are like all in on it. Like, yes, 100% yes. And yes, I can write an essay in 3 weeks. And yes, I want to shout from the rooftops about our message because it is so important. And what else do we have aside from our voices sometimes?
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, for you, Zibby, did you ever write about your Judaism before October 7th?
I did. I wrote after the Pittsburgh shooting. I wrote an essay for Caveller about that. I wrote I guess my bat mitzvah speech about the Diary of Anne Frank does not count, but I wrote that too. I had written about it. It's included in my memoir bookends. I write about it. It's just a part of me, but not like the main part. It was one part. My protagonist in my novel was Jewish. There's a whole love angle with a man who works at the Hebrew school. There was a lockdown at the Hebrew school. This was all before October 7th. But speaking out so publicly and advocating and gathering voices, no, it's just not something I necessarily would have thought to do professionally.
What happened for you personally? I mean, what happened where you just were like, I need to stand up, I need to speak up, I need to publish a book? Like, well, that pain was so different for everyone. I mean, I felt it as a mother, like it really hit home for me. But you're in the world of authors and publishing. Like, what hit home for you? Why were you feeling this, like, I need to do this, I need to bring these voices to fruition?
For me, in the publishing world, there has been such a wellspring's wrong word. For me in the publishing world, there has been so much anti-Semitism that knocked me off my feet. From authors I respected who turned against Jewish people immediately, to bookstores that I previously visited who all of a sudden didn't want to even carry my books because I was a Jewish publisher. There were so many things. And I, early on, took what I didn't realize was such a public stand, but I withdrew a sponsorship that I had for the National Book Foundation Awards. And after I found out that event, that there was a chance that there was going to be this joint statement that might be anti-Semitic, and all I needed was a little reassurance. Like, of course, if things get out of control, we'll step in. And there was none of that. And I was like, well, I can't be a part of that. I can't bring my team into that. It became like an international news item, and the amount of hatred I got after that was just off the charts. And it continued in many ways, from my book, people trying to boycott my book, to being put on lists, blacklists of Jewish authors. There's something like every day. So it's been coming at me, I think mostly from this one decision I made, which I didn't realize was so consequential. I would absolutely make it again, but that there was so much hatred and it was just so targeted and so brazen and outright, and like, okay, it's okay to, I guess, speak to people like this now. So,
oh, I mean, it's so painful because I think none of us really knew that it existed in the depths that it did.
yeah.
And so this book is just so beautiful because as I start to read it and read different people's perspective, even as a Jew, as a proud Jew, I had no idea how other people in different fields were feeling. And you've really brought this to the table now where like, wow, this is a rabbi and this is a mom and this is an author and everybody's feeling so much pain, but in such different ways.
Yes.
And so much pride at the same time. I mean, do you feel more proud now to be a Jew than ever before?
100%. And I feel like I'm a part of such a strong community of people who, before, I feel like we were all just going really quickly through our lives, and now we've all stopped and like sat at the table together, even if that's on Instagram, right? I feel like there was so much pain and grief that we were all collectively sitting Shiva on our devices alone across the world. And to the extent that we can bring us all together now, I feel like that has been, I mean, it's not, I can't say perk because there are no perks, right? I would not wish this ever to happen again, but feeling so not only proud, but really energized. And I think that a lot of us have felt paralyzed by the shock and fear that have come after the attacks, and that now people are sort of defrosting a little and getting ready to act. And I just wanted to lift up everyone's voice and say, yes, speak out. Like, it's time and it's okay. And guess what? No one's speaking out for us, so we better speak up now.
That's
before
right.
It's too late.
That's right. And you did that so beautifully. Are you hoping, I mean, I know Jews are going to read this book, right? And within our own, are you hoping that non-Jews will pick it
Yes.
up? And what are you hoping that they'll see when they pick this up and read it?
I think they're going to see that we're all like human beings who like love our families and cook meals, and we're not that different from everybody else. And hey, we're funny and smart and interesting, and we have all these things that people will read and think like, oh, maybe they don't deserve to be murdered. At baseline, right? Yeah. Maybe they don't deserve to be targeted in this way. Maybe they are actually just people. I think when you conceive of a group as something so other, or oh, well, that could never happen to me, that's not even like me. I mean, I won't get into the politics of it all, but this is it might not just be about Jewish people. This could be the first of many groups. And anyway, I want them to see our shared humanity, our shared values with so many other people and so many other cultures and groups and everything, and just be like, you know what? Maybe I could just say a little something. Maybe the next time there's a conversation in my workplace where everybody seems one-sided, maybe I could speak up because I kind of get it, what it's like. And maybe I could be the voice, just the littlest voice that might start, you know, it's like there's a glass of water and you put like one drop of food coloring, it starts to change the whole thing. I just want to have people put a few more drops in.
So I think what we need to all be doing it is purchasing it and gifting it to our non-Jewish friends.
Yes.
And hopefully they'll purchase it and give it to their non-Jewish friends so we can have a ripple effect and
Yes.
people can see like we're just human beings like
Yeah.
everyone else.
Yeah.
Like everyone else. What about for you though, as you were collecting these different essays and reflections, is there something new that you have now adopted, new traditions, new value system, a new way of feeling Jewish? Is there anything new for you that you have found in reading these essays?
I've just found a much deeper connection that will never go away. Even if like all the anti-Semitism vanished tomorrow, like I feel that my relationship to Judaism is completely different, and to the community at large in terms of day-to-day customs. I mean, you know, I wear a Jewish star around my wrist every day. I'm very open. I have changed even some of my parenting around it. It's just sort of it's sort of gotten into everything that I do. But I mean, no other specific day-to-day things, but more events. I mean, with this book, I'm going to all over the country. And I'm going to small groups and people being like, hey, I live in San Francisco, but I have a group of 50 women and I really want you to come talk to us. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I want you to come to Atlanta. I know everybody who's Jewish. Like, just come talk to us. Please, we need you. Okay, I'll be there. So I think it's changed my willingness to, I was always willing, but my eagerness to just connect, because any event I've done where we all talk and panelists talk and contributors like you share, you can feel it in the room, the difference it's making. You can just, it's amazing. It's a tangible change that comes across everybody. And I just want to keep making that happen over and over again and trying to change the tide, sort of one little battle at a time.
But you are. You literally just got off a plane now, and we have the event this evening. And I said to you, well, how long are you here? I'm out of here tomorrow. And you're moving. And you have a huge responsibility. You're a mother of 4. And so you have your children, but you also feel this urgency and this need to give back to your community right now. And you're doing it. This book is huge. But I know you're not stopping there. You're continuing. What's next for you, Zibby?
Well, I also launched a Substack where non-contributors, like not the 75, but anyone who can pitch an essay to us. So we've been posting at least 5 of those every week. We have probably 70 up on our site so far. Then I launched an accompanying podcast on Being Jewish Now. So those contributors can read their essays once a week. We also have our audiobook, as you know, where the contributors read. So hearing people's voices, I think, will be powerful. So I want to keep that going and not have it be just a book. And then, of course, these meetups all over and events all over. And I feel like maybe this is just the beginning, but I haven't seen the whole path, but I'm going with it, and we'll see where it goes.
You're such an inspiration because you're so busy and you're finding the time to do things that are really important. Will you do me a favor and just look into that camera to all the moms out there who feel like their plate is so full, but they want to make a difference. They want their voices to be heard. What can they do?
Your plate will always be full. But plates are made to be stacked as high as possible. This isn't a pot with a lid. So our plates can go higher. And sometimes when we put things that are meaningful on the plate, it makes the rest of the things seem better. It's like adding hot fudge on top of ice cream, right? It takes up a little bit more room, but it makes it all that much sweeter. So it might feel like more, but it'll actually make everything better.
Wow, I love that. That's so profound. You're so brilliant and you're doing so much. And I just watch you and I'm like, you know what? If she can do it, I can do it too. Say yes, show up, because when you do, you build these amazing relationships. I would have never known you, but you said yes to coming on when you wrote your book, and you came in, and then I read your book and I fell in love with you, and here we are now. That's what this is all about. It's showing up and saying yes and doing more and more, like you say. Okay, where can we find the book? Where should we purchase the book? From your bookstore, from Amazon? Where should we go get it?
Anywhere you want to get the book is fine. Yes, of course, we have it at Zibby's Bookshop in Santa Monica, but it is available everywhere. I just saw on Instagram, like, people were fighting over it at Barnes & Noble, and I was like, yes. I forwarded it to my distributor. I was like, see, we need more at Barnes & Noble. But anywhere you want to get it, get one for you, and while you're there, get one for a friend. The profits go all towards Artists Against Antisemitism, this nonprofit. This is not a money-making venture. This is a doing good in the world venture. And so you can feel good buying a copy or 2 or 10. Give them for Hanukkah to everyone you know. Give them to your rabbis, your teachers, people who are interested in the human experience. And gather. Have a book group about it. Host one yourself. I can't be everywhere, but you can invite people into your home, Jewish and non-Jewish. Have 20 people over and just discuss it. I think these conversations are crucial to be having right now.
I love it, Zibby. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time to be here. I know how busy you are. And thank you for always showing up for everybody and for really creating this at a time where we need it so, so badly. You are a shining star. You really are. You really are. Our community needs you. So thank you for being here for all of us. And I can't see all the great things you do next. And you saw it right here, Zibby Owens on Being Jewish Now. Get a copy, everybody. I actually wrote an essay in there, and I'm very proud of it. And I would love to hear your comments. Leave them below. Read the book. Share them with your friends. And we'll see you all next time right here on Moms Matter.